Hello, hi Nilima.
Hi,
How are you?
good.
Okay, great. So we can start with the interview. Yeah. So in this interview, I'm going to ask you some questions related to your resume, the resume that I have, and then I will also make you do one live coding question. Okay. Yeah, and I will also ask you some basic questions related to your tech stack. Okay, so let's start with a very basic introduction.
Uh, Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Nilima Chand. I have recently completed my graduation from IIT College of Engineering and my bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering with artificial intelligence. I have a strong interest in front-end development and has been focusing on full stack. As currently I've worked on some projects in my previous company, such as tours and travel package management, and other is hotel booking system, which is these both project based on the Monstack, React, Node.js, MongoDB, and Express.js. And apart from this, my hobbies is I love traveling and listen to musics. And my strength is I'm a good listener and I'm a good learner also and hardworking girl. And that's all about me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nilima. I'll introduce myself. Hi, my name is Masra Mahal, and I'm a software engineer at Bosch Telecom. I have 3 years of experience working with front-end technologies like React, JavaScript, TypeScript, and I also have some hands-on experience working with Node.js and MongoDB and SQL. So in Deutsche Telekom, we are building UI components, making our web application performance better, working on the accessibility of our web application. So that's how my day goes here at ATDL. Okay. So, Nilima, you said that you have worked on few projects in your internship, maybe? It was an
Yes,
internship, right? So,
yes.
can you tell me what components did you work on? Like how, what was the most complex piece that you have worked on?
Sorry,
I'm
what?
asking, what did you work on? What components did you work on in your internship? Can you explain your project?
First I build a hotel booking management, where which is I develop from very scratch using React UI component. Uh, I create a login page, a login and sign up page, and a navigation bar, header, footer, and some galleries, and some components of information about the hotels, and mm, and uh, mm, and some blog pages also.
Okay. So, can you tell me about more about the gallery? Like, what was it?
Gallery is all about the collections of a picture, where we have a different pictures of hotels from different location. These gallery consist of hotel pictures, outdoor pictures, restaurant pictures, and their bedroom picture. There's a different components is there.
Okay, so more like a listing page.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Nilima, as I can see in your resume, you said that you improved the page load speed by 30%. So, how did you measure the page load speed?
I use this basically. That time I was a new learner, so
Okay.
as a learning purpose, I contributed. I learned from my seniors that to optimize my page. where we such as right now I talked about the gallery. What the problem is, when go to the gallery, they reload the images very late. So for the optimization, I use a lazy loading. There is also some more methods, but I use the one a few things. That's why I write here 30%
So
as a
you
beginner.
okay, so you do not use any tool for measuring the improvement, the
No,
percentage.
no.
Okay, so this is like a guess number.
Yeah, this is like a guess one.
Okay. So can you tell me more about lazy loading? How did you like lazy loaded this?
Lazy loading basically we use when we have to load when we have a need to load our page. It's basically it prevent basically it prevent from the re-rendering, and it use while loading the gallery component.
Okay, but how did you implement it? Like what what packages did you use any package, or did you sort it using React component itself? How did you implement?
I use this React component itself. I didn't use any packages.
So you mean you implemented using Suspense?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me this Suspense that you used, is it synchronous or asynchronous in nature?
Basically, it's a synchronous in sorry, it's a asynchronous in nature
Okay. Why did you say synchronous earlier?
because it's just a non-blocking process. While in a gallery, there is the same time multiple pictures reload, so it's perform a task as parallelly.
Okay. So what if our suspense is taking a lot of time to load since it is asynchronous? So what do you do in that case?
We use lazy loading so it prevent from the re-rendering. It's avoid the
Yeah, that is okay, but the lazy loading will also take some time. So for the time being, what will the user see on the web page?
I didn't get a problem like this when I used it, so
Okay, it's
I
okay.
don't know about it.
So in that case, in suspense, there is a parameter called fallback. So when suspense takes a lot of time, I mean, in general, what we do is, since it is asynchronous, so we give a fallback component. So until the lazy component is loaded on the screen, the fallback component is shown to the user. So in
Okay.
that case, it could be a loading dot, or you can show a shimmer. So that was what I was asking. Okay. Um, Next. So, what did you do in the backend for this? Since you have implemented the login and sign up and also the listing API. So, can you just go through the APIs that you've implemented in your?
Uh, I used I used the REST API for the API.
Okay,
So we use it for the API calling.
okay. So, can you just give me examples of what all APIs you made? Just write it in the chat, like what all APIs you made.
Uh, for example, I create a for sign up. We have to create a HTTP request. Basically, send the data for
Mhm.
the post and get fetch the data. So
Okay.
these kind of API
Mm,
we create.
so you must have created slash sign up API in which you will be getting the
Yes,
user
yes,
credentials, ID and password.
yes,
Okay. Then after that, you will also be fetching if the user is logged in, like previously if the user is logged in. Okay.
yes,
And then there would be slash listing page that would be rendering the list, that would be fetching the list of the hotels that you have on the page, right?
yeah. Fetching. Basically, we use the Axios third party from fetch the API in the
Okay.
front in the React.
So why did you use Axios? We can also use fetch function, which is already there in JavaScript.
It is we use Axios third party for the very complex API. Basically, I didn't try a fetch uh, for the for the API call fetch method. I only use the third party, so I don't know about the fetch regarding them.
Okay. Okay. Mm, So how did you optimize the query by 25% in MongoDB? Like, what did you use in that?
MongoDB is I use 25% because it easy to create a database in a cloud MongoDB, and it is also easy to connect with MongoDB campus. So it is as compared to MySQL. It's very easy to connect also. So that's why I put a 25%, and it is a non-relational database. That's why.
Okay. So what's a relational database and what's a non-relational database?
Relational database, which is something in a JSON format, and relational database, which is a form in a table such as a row and column that we call user or in SQL.
Okay. And why do we use relational? Why do we use non-relational? What are the use cases? In which scenario would you use one?
Sometimes we have a large data, such as we talk about our gallery. So there is a lot of JSON data is present for the web page. So that case, I think Mongo is best because have to just where we required a JSON data. That's why we don't need here as a for the table like
Okay.
format.
Okay. So why would you not require table-like component? Because
Table like component is required, but it is more easy to fetch the data. It prevent from the lot of query.
okay, okay. Um, so how did you implement the JWT based authentication?
Basically, JWT authentication is a JWT authentication is a server type mechanism. So we use it in a backend uh, uh, where in validation.
Sorry, can you come again?
JWT token JWT token is created in our backend where it is used to create a it is a token based mechanism.
Okay. And what is its purpose? Like, why do we require a JWT authentication?
We use JWT authentication for the security purpose, where the server provides generate a token which is a very unique and other is it easy to uh, it is a one time token. So
Okay.
it is for security purpose it is a very good concept.
Okay. So if it is one time, then how can a user be logged in for a long time? Like what is one time? Like how can you define one time?
Because it have a set of time. We set in a code a time duration. So when it is based on session based, so when we cut our mm, when we cut our page, then the JWT token is expired also, and in some scenarios we set a time accordingly, so it expire according to them. So it is a very safe and secure method.
So let's say if there is user A and user B, user A has logged in and they have their JWT token generated. So can the user A share the JWT token with user B?
No.
Why not?
Because if I log in, so basically it's a when I log in or sign up, so it's my credentials. Basically, uh, user A and user B both are different. Both have a different IDs. Both payload is different. Both header is different.
But
So that's why.
JWT token is unique, right? It is not created based on the user credential. It is created uniquely with a unique session. So
Yes.
it can be shared among the users, right?
It I don't think it shares about it shares according.
Okay. What is open authentication?
I don't know about this.
Okay, no issues. So since you have worked on the admin panel, we can say that it's an admin panel, right?
The structure of the admin panel.
Okay. So what was the most challenging piece of it?
The structuring of admin panel is the most challenging part of it, because here admin panel there is a structured way. For example, if I have a client,
Okay.
sorry, I have an employer. So there is a lot of structure. For example, there is a table of employee, there is a table of there is also there's a different datas of employee, such as where these data is connected to the other data. Same employee ID we are getting from the another field, in such as, for example, we in one of the employee from the sales department, and in admin panel there is a there is a car which is sold by some employee from the sales department. So there is a structure which should be hierarchically managed. So first, if the structure is planned, then we code, then we design our UI. Otherwise, it create a lot of mess.
Okay. So when you're building such a platform, so you build the UI first or the backend first?
I think first is UI, then build a backend.
Okay.
First, we know the structure, then we create their backend.
Okay. So the structure that you are referring to, what structure is it?
It is a admin panel of car selling management.
Okay, so that means it will have a UI, it will have a backend, and in
Backend.
backend we have databases and the
Yes.
APIs which will be required for
Yes.
communicating between the front end and the back
Mm.
end.
Yes.
Okay, okay, that was about the questions from your resume. We already have crossed 20 minutes, so let's talk about some theory questions based on the tech stack that you've used. Okay. So, what is a DOM?
DOM refers to the document object model, which represent a web page as a tree-like structure. and it's allow JavaScript dynamically access and manipulate the UI content and the structure of a web page.
Okay. So how does the DOM manipulation happen?
DOM manipulation happen. DOM manipulation happen when we have to update something. We have to change something, we have to add something, we have to delete something from the DOM. So entire DOM is the entire DOM is changed. So it is a very lengthy process. So
Okay. So how does React helps in this lengthy process?
React uses virtual DOM, which is a copy of a real DOM. It help to update the only part of the UI which we have to change without reloading the entire page, and it improves the it improves the performance and make app more responsive as well.
Okay. So how does the React come to know what node has been changed?
When the user performs some action,
Okay.
there is a different components.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this component doesn't link to the another component. If a user performs some action, that response will only update, not the other component.
No, I'm asking if there is a virtual DOM, then how does the virtual DOM know what node or what component or what HTML element has changed and how does it update it?
Uh, uh, it's We use the reconciliation process.
Okay.
Reconciliation process is the process when user performs some action, such as some click a button. Okay, so it's create a new virtual DOM as based on updated component. Then it compares from the new virtual DOM with the previous one. Then this process is called diffing, and that find the difference. That process is called diffs, and then at last it only updates the part of the DOM which were changed.
Okay. So in our scenario, in this updation scenario, how many DOMs are there?
How many DOMs are there? I don't understand.
So you said there's a virtual DOM, and then the virtual DOM also compares from its previous version, like what it has to update. So how many how many types of DOM are there?
Uh, DOM, virtual DOM, one of other DOM is Shadow DOM.
Okay,
So
and
I
what is the original DOM?
Original DOM is DOM, which represent the UI structure.
Okay, so we have three DOMs. One is real DOM, virtual DOM.
Real DOM.
Okay, so can you explain the CSS specificity?
No, don't know about it. CSS specific.
Okay, it's okay. You can read about it. It's an interesting topic.
Okay.
Mm, what else? Okay, so how do you? So you have worked on React, right? Okay. So how does the communication between components happen from child to child, from parent to child, and among the sibling components?
It's based on the parents to child. One data passed from parent component to child components,
Okay.
and other one is data transfer from parents component to nested child component. So the parent component to child component is the process of props. We call it this props.
Okay. So how does a child component talks to a parent component?
Mm, by using callback function.
Callback functions. Okay. What do you call that?
Don't know about
Okay. It's called lifting up the state.
it.
So is there any other way we can, any other way a child component can talk to the parent component apart from lifting the state?
Mm, context API we use
Okay.
where two components communicate with each other by avoiding props.
Okay. So what is a context API?
Um, Same context API where two components communicate with each other, passes data from sharing information between them, one component to other component, by avoiding props. Uh, yes.
Okay. So if I have to communicate a lot of data from my child component to the parent component, then how will the context API be useful in that?
Uh, Sorry.
If we want to share more than, let's say, five different states from the child component to the parent component, then how can we use context API in that?
We use context in a different components.
Okay, but won't it be difficult to manage it if we have a lot of state?
I don't think so. I,
Okay, so what are the other ways we can avoid using a lot of use context?
I don't know what is the other ways.
Do you know anything about Redux?
I know about,
Redux?
yeah, Redux. I know about the Redux.
Okay. So can you think along those lines that Redux will be useful in this case when we have a lot of context APIs?
Yes, Redux is also used for the sharing data and store the data, updating the data.
Okay. So how does the Redux work?
Redux work on some techniques. First is store the entire state, which is called a store. Then second technique is action, where the component render due to the change in states and props, and other is reducer, which update function updates based on the action. Then dispatch, it sends the action to the reducer. And then last is provider, which Redux is available for the React.
Can you explain the last part about the provider?
Provider, where Redux will be available to store the state for the React. It make available.
No, I did not understand. So, what are you trying to say? Don't talk about the bookish definition, just tell what you understand.
Basically it's after it's basically it's a at last Redux is able to use the Redux.
Okay. So, you were saying that at last the our React components would be able to read the values from the Redux store.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do we do that?
Mm,
Do you know anything about use selector?
no.
So use selector is another one of the React hooks that helps us in reading the values from the React store. Okay. So we can show that data anywhere in our application.
Okay.
Okay, so when okay, so when we have a list of when we have an array will have a lot of data in it. So how do we show that array of data in our React component?
Uh, can I write this?
Yeah, yeah, sure, you can. If you are writing anything, then you can share your screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing.
You can open any platform that
If my screen is visible to you.
yes, yes, it's visible.
You said we have a different array.
Okay. No, we have one array. The array will have lot of data in it.
Lots of data. Can I put any data?
Yeah, you can put any data that you want.
Mm, Index. Mhm.
Okay, that's okay. That's nice. Now tell me why did we need the key parameter in here?
A key parameter is the used to identify the item. Basically, the different item is present in an array. For example, apple, orange, and banana. These are the items, different items. So
Okay. And if it is representing the items in the array, then what is its purpose? Why do we need it?
it's the purpose. It's uniquely identified.
But why is it needed? Like, why do we need to identify the elements?
We don't identify the elements, and then it give the it will it is basically it's easy to because apple is in index 1, uh, orange is index 2.
Mhm.
These are uniquely identified, so index is basically uh, how can I say?
Okay, think in the terms of the updation process, the nodes that we have in a DOM. How it will be helpful when we are trying to update a DOM.
Sorry,
So the keys that we are using, think of it in a way that you are updating the DOM. Let's say we have to change any value or we want to delete something, then in that case the keys are helpful. Okay. So, in a real life example, can we use anything else apart from the index of for the keys?
I'm not getting your points. In real life
Open your
example, what do you mean?
open your phone. So in this, you have written key is equal to index. You wrote it because we are in an interview situation. But if you are building an actual application, you're working in a company, or you working on any of your side projects, would you be using index as the key?
We use it, otherwise we can rename it IDX.
No, no, I'm not talking about renaming it. You
So,
rename it whatever you want, but the that will be index only. Like we will be referring to the index position value of the in the array. So
yeah,
can we use anything apart from the index?
no.
Okay. So actually, index is generally not used when we are rendering the. I mean, when we are applying the key. No, just open the code. It's okay.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so what we do is we have a JSON format data, usually in very big organizations. So in that we have the ID. ID is attached to every data that we have. So in that case we use ID. We do not use index because if we use index and when we are changing anything, then that will reflect all the elements that are present because it is referring to the position. It is not referring to its unique ID. Okay, but in such a scenario like this, we can use index. So that is what I wanted to know if we can use ID or we can use something else.
Okay.
So right now you have this div component, right? So if you just erase div, can you just erase div? No, no, no. Just keep the elements. Sorry, the tag. Just remove the. What is this called? The empty tag.
Uh, this called I don't know about it, but if we don't use div, so we use this empty tag.
And why do we use it?
Because it is a JSX format.
It is in JSX format,
Yes.
but why should we not use div instead of using these empty tags?
If we don't use div, so
It's okay. These are called React fragments, and when we have multiple components, when we have multiple HTML elements, we club together in this React fragments. So instead of doing it in a div, because div elements can be a lot of div elements, and makes our application heavy. Every div will have some size. So instead of using a div element, we can use React fragment. So that will eventually help in reducing our app size. So wherever we can, we avoid using divs because divs are heavy. Okay, and if we have lot of nested divs or lot of divs, then it will make our application heavy. So that can be avoided. Mm, okay. So in this case, you have used map. Okay. Can we also use for each?
no, we can't use for each because for each returns only single value. For the React, we use a map. It's give a new array. But for each, it doesn't give the new array. That's why.
Okay, so you're saying that for each will not return us anything.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Um, so are there any other way in which you can optimize your React application performance apart from lazy loading?
There is a React memo,
Hmm.
use memo, and components break and component based architecture. Basically we create a small component and then we combine. These are the different way.
Okay. Um, like how does it help in improving the performance? Like, do you know why we use React Memo?
It memoize the expensive calculation. Basically, catches the calculation value to avoiding expensive calculation.
Okay. Then if we can use React Memo, then why do we use Memo or use callback?
Memo is used to prevent from the re-rendering the page unless prop change, and it doesn't perform the some calculation also.
If there is React.memo, then why do we need use Memo or use callback? Like, what is the difference between all three of them?
Uh, I don't know the difference between them.
Okay. So React Memo is used for memoizing the React components. Use Memo is for variables, and use callback is for functions. Right? Moving on to the next question. Since you already have the notepad open, you can actually open any online editor, so it is easier for us to read.
Um, Online editor, JavaScript.
Yeah, JavaScript editor. Okay, I'm giving you one question. Okay, so this is the string that you have as an input. Okay, so now you have to change this string into an object format. So in our case, the output would be in this case. The first one is the input. So that would be passing the string is the input, and then the output will be in this format. Okay, is it fine?
Mm, sorry, I can't
It's okay. We'll go
listen
together.
dot string file.
We'll go together. So what I have given you is a query parameter, right? You know about query parameters?
Mm, no.
Okay. So when we hit an any API, we give an extra parameters to it so that we can filter out our data or we can fetch those exact data that we want. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say in your listing page, in your hotel management listing page, suppose somebody gives you the name as Nilima. Suppose Nilima is a property, and we also send a type to it. Okay,
Okay.
let's say we want a Airbnb type. Okay. So this all these parameters they are attached to the API, and then from the backend we will get a filtered out API. So this is the purpose of such parameters. So we are filtering out the data. So now you have a string, we have name, we have a profession, and now you have to return this in a JSON format, okay, in an object. You can start writing this up. It's okay. We will slowly progress with the solution. Just start with whatever you have with you right now.
Uh, Actually, I don't know how to use it. Basically,
See, you will be writing a function. It will have an input. This is the
yeah, then we use a state, use state.
no. There is no use of use state. This is pure JavaScript. You do not have to make
Okay.
it complex. Just think about how you will proceed with it. So you have a function. This will be your input string. This is a normal string. How do you process a string? You will check that this value is present or not. Then you will append it to your object, right?
Yes.
So can you think of something else from here?
Um,
See, write it down step by step, and then we'll come to the solution because it will not come to you directly. So break it down. Don't panic. Don't panic. Break it down, and you will eventually come to the solution. We'll code it together.
yeah, okay. Function. String name, professional engineer.
copy paste it from the chat. Why did you remove the function that was you were doing right earlier?
Because I thought I can do it without function, but
You can do it without function, but what if we have a lot of input? So we have to call the function, right, with different inputs.
so I need to add the function
Yes.
for it.
Create a function.
Okay.
So we have the str as the input, right? So you'll be passing that.
Sorry. Hello.
I'm saying that we have a str string, right? So we'll be passing it to a function when we are calling it
Uh, yes.
an argument, right? Can you call this app function? No, you don't have to export it. You can directly call it. No, no, no. I'm telling you to call a function. You don't have to return the app from it. You will be returning the result from the app function. You have to do a function call.
Sorry, I'm not getting you how to call a function.
Okay. Um, at line number 12,
Okay.
up to line number 12, write app and pass str to it. No, no, like a function call. You need to put round brackets, parenthesis, and then pass str in one as an argument.
Pass str in it.
Yeah, so this is how you're making a function call.
Okay.
So when your JavaScript is executed line by line, then this app function will be called, and whatever you are writing inside the function app, then that will be executed.
Okay.
Okay? So that is a function call. You know what a function definition is?
Yes, a piece of function is a piece of code which performs some action.
That is the function. But what is a function definition?
Function definition.
Yes.
Tell me more about it.
So what you are writing from line number 6 to line number 11, that is the function definition. So whatever a function does, what if the signature, like what is the purpose of the function? So you define it, what the purpose of the function. So that is called a function definition. And when you are invoking a function, then that is a function call. Like at
Okay.
what point of your code you want to invoke the function.
Okay. But okay.
Yeah, what is a query?
We call str app.str, but we didn't define anywhere. So how we call here?
We have defined str on top, right?
Uh,
So it will be picked up over here.
okay,
Okay.
okay, okay,
So we have a string. Okay. Now we have to return an object. So can you, how will you start with it? What is your thought process behind it?
mm, JSON.stringify we use to convert object to.
No, we do not have to use Stringify. We will use pure functions that we have in our code.
Okay,
So when we have a string, we will first check, right, if it is starting with a question mark or not, because that is how the query parameters will start. The starting of the query parameter is denoted with a question mark.
okay,
So inside your function, you will first check, is it a query parameter? Like you will check if the first character is a question mark or not. Correct? If it is not, then we will not do any further processing. Okay? So can you check for it?
we use if else for the.
What are you doing in line number 10?
Uh, how do we check? So basically here, if my name, so I we check it is a Nelima or a profession, either. Sorry, it's a order.
So it doesn't have to be necessary Nilima or engineer. It can be any value with name.
Okay. Mm,
It's okay, Nilima. We can move to some other question.
okay.
Um, can you write a function to reverse a string? Do not use inbuilt functions. Write your own reverse function.
Reverse function. I need to reverse any array or
No, a string. Let's say you can take that. string to be your name, and then you can reverse it.
Mhm. Nice.
Can you call the function and show me the output?
No, no.
So map is a string. It is not an array. Map only works with array. You cannot use map over here.
Yes. I can reverse it without using function.
I did not understand.
Using JavaScript, I can reverse it without using function. Basically, I converted into a words. May I?
Okay.
Reverse करते using for equals to zero. हाँ? मैं तेरा क्लास में गई। आज मैं तेरा फोन गई नहीं थी। आज मैं तो क्लास में मेरे को बोलिए। क्या बोला?
Over here, rev is constant. We cannot assign it to a constant.
Sorry, it will be left.
No, you do not have to define name as let because we are not changing name. We are only changing user. So name can be constant.
Okay, हाँ, sorry. Then you can count let.
The output is wrong.
Now it's a correct output. I mistake happens when the I put reverse and zero.
So why couldn't you put it inside a function?
I can put, but there is some different approach.
Why would there be a difference in approach?
Uh, uh, for example, for loop, we can use it, but uh, I never tried in by using it. So
Can you try it now? Put your entire code inside a function and it will work exactly the same. There's a spelling mistake in function or function. The function keyword. It will be FUNCTION.
function reverse return nothing.
No. Uh, You need to pass name as a parameter to it. The name that you define, you need to pass it in the function definition. This is not how you pass it. Uncomment the line number 4. Now, in line number 13, instead of passing rev, you need to pass name. Okay, sorry. Just a second. You need to return something from the function. On line number 11,
Return.
you do not have to pass it. Just, just simply return rev without parentheses. It's okay, Nilima.
Okay.
So, tell me honestly, is this the first time you were coding a JavaScript function?
Uh, yeah, because in my previous company, we will have creating a sorry we someone is guide us. We will not create a proper website from the scratch.
I'm not talking about the website. I'm just asking, like, this is the first time you were coding a question in JavaScript. Forget about React.
Mm, yes.
So, when you started learning React, you did not learn JavaScript. You started directly with React.
I learned JavaScript, but I didn't practice function. I use normal coding questions using loop, but I don't have practice with functions.
Okay. Okay, Nilima. That was good. We have also crossed our time limit. Thank you
Okay.
for your time. Okay.